so he ran to me and asked for the key. But then I dropped a bomb on him in front of everyone. We're over. This car is a gift for myself because I tolerated you all this time. I've never seen someone get that embarrassed. People were laughing at him and asking me if they could get in my car and go for a spin. And I deserved all that praise because buying the car was not easy. They were super nervous about taking all cash from a 16-year-old. And I get it, it probably looked a little sketchy, but it was my money, one way or another. Now all I had to worry about was hiding the car from my mom, or so I thought. When I came back from taking the car for a spin, there were police all over the place. They yanked me out of the car and put me in handcuffs. It felt like I was in a nightmare. I asked what this was about, and the cops told me it was for using and distributing counterfeit money. I was spiraling. The money I had been given all those years was fake? Who the heck was sending me it? Were they trying to set me up? I tried to explain through tears on the way to the police station, but they weren't having it. When I finally got there, they put me in a cold, dark room and started interrogating me. I knew I couldn't keep my secret anymore. I told them about all the letters and about how long I had been getting them. I even told them about all the things I had spent the money on. At first, they didn't seem like they believed me, but as they continued interrogating me, they realized my story hadn't changed. After 8 hours, they let me out with a plan in mind. They'd stake out the house on a Sunday, block the road, and catch the person behind this. When I walked out, my mom was standing there. She knew everything now, and she was not happy. When I told her I'd been paying our bills, she looked a bit ashamed. We didn't talk the entire ride home. When Sunday came, we both sat in the living room with the blinds open, waiting to see it all happen. I felt sick to my stomach. I was giving up someone who had changed my life, someone who had helped me so much over the years. His car pulled up, and all the police lights flashed on. I started to cry, and I bolted out of the house to see him. I needed to apologize for all of this. He tried to drive away from the cops, and a huge chase started. The cops had either side of the road blocked off, but he was ramming into cars, desperate to get out. Sparks were flying everywhere, car alarms were going off. He was even tearing up people's yards. Finally, the cops chased his car into our front yard. They pinned him against the side of the house and yanked him out. I called out to him, apologizing while the cops held me back. Then the cops ripped off his mask, and my world fell apart. I recognized the man underneath the mask. It wasn't one of my mom's ex-boyfriends. It wasn't a neighbor. It was my dad. My dad, who had died when I was 2. Now, it was him apologizing. My mom and I stood there in absolute shock while they put him in the cop car. When we found out the real story, I couldn't believe it. After I was born, my mom and dad were fighting a lot. The stress of raising a family was apparently